Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Candace, and this is the Feminine by Design channel. Welcome to our sacred space, where we embrace our feminine energy and support each other on this journey of healing and growth. Let me start by saying that I may not move through these beginning videos as smoothly as I would like, because first, although these messages are recent downloads to me, I have ruminated on the larger concepts for years. But knowing that I'm not a seasoned content creator, I want to be sure to deliver these messages with the clarity and levity that they deserve. Second, because I have chosen to read via a script, so that I can be sure to capture the elements of the divine feminine to build from the foundation that we establish and illuminate how she is moving through the collective consciousness for mass transformation on our planet. I plan to answer the question, how can embracing my feminine energy transform my life today, over the course of this video. Let's begin with a brief explanation of what feminine energy is. Often it's considered the intuitive, empathic, receiving, creative, and allowing aspect of our human nature. While the divine feminine is a deeper, more spiritual aspect of that energy. It allows for the grounding of those intuitive nudges, a sustained trust in that intuition, and finally, a recognition that intuition is a guide. It also represents creativity, utilizing the lessons gained from discernment to respond or act from a space of wisdom. The wisdom of the divine feminine is introspective and a powerful ally when navigating the challenges of life. Creating the life that you desire and moving from a place of authenticity requires that you don't mitigate its importance in your life. Going forward, please understand that when I speak of feminine energy, I'm referencing the divine feminine unless otherwise stated. Finally, I want to say that each person has both masculine and feminine energy that they operate in. However, I plan to have a standalone video on these two energies and how they work together, so I don't want to distract from the foundation that we are laying right now. Understanding the cycles of the divine feminine energy can help you determine where you might be in order to decrease anxiety and doubt. It can also be used as a measurement of growth. Identifying the interconnectedness of these cycles will allow for flow, decreasing your resistance and providing a foundation for clarity. It provides an elevation to witness the blocks that may be standing in the way of a life that satisfies and fulfills you. Not that society, family, or peers deem acceptable. Thus, you begin to feel your true purpose and move accordingly. I will begin by explaining the divine feminine life cycle through the maiden, mother, crone archetypes. These feminine energy archetypes run parallel to the developmental stages of our human life cycle. That is, the childhood, the adulthood, and then your senior. The traits I'm illuminating are common, but not exhaustive. They are distinctive in certain stages, but not limited to that area of life. They show up intertwined, interconnected, and working in tandem to create a complexity and depth synonymous with a human being. These archetypes are not linear, but I will be describing them this way for simplicity. The maiden, representing the spring of our lives, is often characterized by innocence, ideation, curiosity, and receptiveness, often negatively described as naive or gullible, and seeking external validation. While the mother archetype represents the summer of our lives, characterized by nurturing, responsibility, creativity, and confidence. Negatively labeled as a time of resentment, anger, suppression, or even bitterness. In truth, it is a time of internal validation and sovereignty. It is also worth noting that reinvention excuse me, often marks the transformation from this stage, and it is where most decide to make authentic changes to their lives. Although these stages are intertwined, a disconnect will often have to occur from past behaviors, thoughts, and beliefs in order to evolve successfully into the crone archetype. Finally, the crone, representing the winner of our lives, is characterized by wisdom, individuation, liberation, and freedom. This stage is often misunderstood as a time when people are lonely, disinterested, or even aloof. However, it is often just a conscious break from societal norms and pressures of success and acceptance, a rejection of what looks happy and is often replaced by a real attempt to find fulfillment. I've created a Venn diagram to illustrate the interconnectedness as well as a few other characteristics that may occur during the transition from one archetype to the other, or how they can exist simultaneously. I wrestled with the maiden mother archetypes for most of my life, oscillating between the two, holding the responsibilities of motherhood, employment, education, and relationships, while indulging in a rose-colored perspective of toxic relationships and addictions. I compartmentalized the parts that were hurt, the parts of me that were abandoned, and I became fragmented, lost, disconnected, and confused. When I found myself hopeless, it was the beginning of the challenge, but I didn't realize it. It was when I refused to look at a reality that not all of me could experience, I decided to give it my all. I gave this transformation everything. I have discussed many concepts, but the crux of this video and the series of videos to follow, if you stay this long, is to answer this question. How can embracing my feminine energy transform my life today? In a word, self-acceptance. If you're willing to do the introspective work and cultivate divine feminine energy, you can create an internal space that allows for synchronicity. This synchronicity will align you to purpose. This purpose provides you with a mission. This mission leads you to fulfillment. Identifying where you are and where you want to be are 2 points that become a straight line that results in the quickest way to get there. Like Matthew 5:45 states, rain falls on the just and the unjust, meaning good and bad happens to everyone regardless of your moral standing. But at least now you'll have a shield. I'm offering these practical tips to get you started. Begin to implement them into your routine, practicing mindfulness, feeling and are using self-care, or joining my community on Facebook named Feminine by Design. If you don't have a community you feel comfortable sharing your journey with currently. In conclusion, I encourage you to share your own experiences with embracing your feminine energy in the comments if you feel comfortable. Thank you for joining me in this sacred space. Remember to walk in grace and confidence. Until next time.